Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling, episode 223. And away we go.
Wait, you get a shot, boy. Is that the best that you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my dawn. I'm Ramon Razor. Strict land ain't your boy. About to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the best that you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 223 of A Shot of Wrestling. Football is not the only thing that's back. Your boy, Michael J. Putty, is back behind the helm as well. You're welcome. Pause for editing.
Boring.
Pause for editing. And we're back. All right. Season premiere, Mark. Season 5 of A Shot of Wrestling.
Are you editing me out? Dude, the show...
Funny. Good job, Mark. That's funny. I am happy to be back.
The show is way better when I was hosting. It was the highest rated episode of the summer for Shot of Wrestling.
That's not true.
I'll have you know that. It is true.
It's not true.
It is true. Mark Schwann equals ratings, baby.
All right. I'll leave right now. Take care, Mark.
No. You stay. It's cool. I'll let you on. Putty, come back. Stop sulking. I'm kidding. I'm only messing with you. Put your headset back on.
Yeah, no, you're kidding, because that show was god-awful. And I apologize to anybody who listened to it.
I mean, that show is god-awful. Are you going to shit on your own show?
No, thank God for Carson, man. Carson was the saving grace of that show.
Oh, stop your nonsense.
Carson, thank you for saving the show. Without you, I don't know what would have happened.
Carson's never going to hang out with you, so I don't know why you're sucking up to him on the air.
How do you know? How do you know we haven't hung out already?
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You a little shook now, huh, Mark? Huh? You a little scared now?
I'm not shook. I'm not scared.
Anyway, I heard you were very shook and very scared in Atlantic City last weekend for BCW's 4th anniversary show.
How was I shook or scared? We won every single match. What are you
I'm talking about the post-game show at Walking the Boardwalk. I've heard a lot of stories, Mark. I've heard some stories. I heard a thing or two about a thing or two.
Listen, the fact is...
What happens in Atlantic City stays in Atlantic City.
We had a celebration because we have the first ever BCW Tag Team Champions. My boys, Chris Barton, Dominic Gennaro of the Satsuja Squad, East Coast Syndicate, first ever Tag Team Champions, man. So it was a celebration on the boardwalk.
How was the show? How was the turnout?
It was a good, solid show, man, especially since, we only had a couple weeks to put it on, get the word out there. I was very pleased with the turnout, very pleased with how everything went. BCW Anniversary 4 came back in a big way at the Showboat. And, yeah, Rick Recon qualified onto the next round for the Golden Dragon Championship. Then we also have, again, as I said, first ever Tag Team Champion. So it was a big night for Satsuja Squad.
Did Darius Carter really come to the ring in a stretch limo?
Dude.
Like JBL styles? Dude,
Darius Carter is just going to do what Darius Carter does, I guess. Like, he's just all flash and pizzazz. It's going to his head. He's number, 337 in PWI 500. Good for him. Longest reigning champion BCW history. Good for him. But now it's just all going to his head. He's drinking his own Kool-Aid. And out he goes, getting his own limo, getting his own escort service here. The dude's out of his mind.
Rightfully so. He can back it up, though. His mouth is writing checks he can cash. So I'm not...
Listen.
Anybody deserves a stretch of limo. It's the All-Father, Darius Carter.
Hell of a competitor. I give him that. But, someone's got to put him in his place soon enough.
Was that you, Mark?
This is ridiculous.
Is that going to be you, Mark?
I'm not a competitor for the 1000th time.
Jesus. All talk.
All talk. Listen, not for nothing. If my representation, if they cleared me, if they were be okay, Mark, fine, you can compete. I would compete, no problem. But no, no. It would be a bad look for me. It would be a liability for any show that I'm on. Mm-hmm. So here I am. I'm there because of my love for professional wrestling and my allegiance with the Satsuja Squad, and I'm out there supporting.
Okay.
Who deserves a shot? I'll tell you who deserves a shot at the title. Is Rick Recon. Rick Recon is the show horse and the workhorse. He looks the part and he backs it up in the ring. That man is the star. He is the future of BCW. And listen, if management they were smart enough, they would give them that marquee match that he deserves.
Isn't he going for that dragon belt?
That dragon belt? Yes, he is going for the dragon belt.
One belt at a time, okay? Jesus.
I mean, one belt at a time. He deserves all the shit. Hey, if Ruthless Lala could go out there and say that she's going to win every single title that BCW has, then why can't Rick Recon? Why can't Dominic De Niro? Why can't Chris Barton?
Okay. Anyway, Mark, sorry I couldn't be there. At the last minute, I thought about going. Then I got sick.
You weren't there?
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Didn't notice.
You wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have hung out with you anyway.
Oh, okay.
Not that you remember. So how was the no-ring death match? How'd that go over?
Oh, my God. So the after party, it was insane. We're going to get into All Out a little bit later on in the show. But, yeah, Casanova Valentine, he delivered, man. I mean, he's known for his death matches, and I can see why. We also had Tommy Dreamer there. Can't forget that.
Oh, at the watch party.
So,
how's that go? How's he doing?
He's doing great. You know, I caught up with him in an interview that we did last week on Shot of Wrestling. Something you could listen to. It was the very last episode. You know, he's doing well. You know, and we saw him on Impact and what happened there. So he was doing better before what happened.
Now, this is probably your biggest name you've interviewed. Were you a little nervous, little butterflies in the stomach?
I wasn't nervous at all. I have to say, like, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, you're right. I mean, this was the biggest interview I had, and I was honored to do it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, Tommy Dreamer is just I no disrespect to him, but, you know, he's another person. He's another human being. I don't really get intimidated by another person. I go in there, I do my job, and I do what I have to do. And that was that. You know, Tommy Dreamer is an ultimate professional, which was great. So, I mean, that was it. I mean, I'm in professional wrestling. So, you know, for me to fanboy over people that I've watched, I feel like that would be unprofessional. You know, I have to view everyone as pretty much a peer.
I don't say fanboy. I'm saying, oh my God, I'm talking to Tommy fucking Dreamer.
Listen, I mean, it was a cool moment. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, it was a cool moment. I was honored to do it, but it's going to. I hope this doesn't come across narcissistic or anything. But you know, I have to have a matter of professionalism to myself, because if I came out like, if I fed into the idea it's like, oh my God, yeah, I'm interviewing someone I've watched on TV a million times, then I'm not going to have a good interview.
Okay, great. You did a good job. Like good interview.
Thank you. Like the last time I had a moment like that, I have to say, was my first network audition. It was for Blue Bloods. And I got psyched out in my head. I was like, oh my God, I'm auditioning for Blue Bloods. So this is a big deal, yada, yada. And like, obviously I didn't give my best because I wasn't in the moment. You know, I was just thinking about auditioning for Blue Bloods. So, you know, I had a different mindset after that.
And your first show here too. You didn't give it your best because you were, I guess, a little too nervous.
I was a guest.
So you were nervous. I
didn't know what I was getting myself into. No, I wasn't
nervous.
Neither did I. And here we are.
Unfortunately.
Was it a year or two later?
Almost 2 years later, Mark.
Almost 2 years. Wow. Look at that. Time flies when you're having fun.
That's why it seems like forever.
You were so much nicer to me back then.
You weren't as a narcissistic, self-centered prick back then. You were a nice guy too. So now I see the real you. I'm now like, oh my God, who's this guy?
I haven't changed at all. I am who I always have been. You know, I'm Mark Schwann.
No, you're more of a dick now. Like you're letting it go to your head.
How much more going to my head? Well, I'm not coming out in limos like Darius Carter.
The fame of being a co-host of A Shot of Wrestling is going to your head a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm aiming for your spot, Putty.
You can have it. I'm done. Five seasons. All yours. I'm ready to retire. So overall, great experience down in Atlantic City. Any talk of going back that you've heard of?
Yeah, I hear from the grapevine that, you know, it's something that we're looking to go back again, maybe make it a yearly thing. That's just something through grapevine. There was a great response there, especially during a pandemic, and again on short notice. So, you know, I was pleased to see the outcome. I can only imagine what it will be, you know, if once we get out of this and once we had, longer time to market it. I can only imagine what it would look like. I hope we go back. I hope the rumors are true, but we shall see. Only time will tell. It's right now. It's just on to the next one.
All right, can't wait. Hopefully there's a next time. So, because I missed that out this time, so you know I love going to Atlantic City. So next time, color party there.
Yeah, all seriousness, man. I would love to have you there. Shot of Wrestling represent.
All right, Mark. Today is September 11th. And
Yes.
usually
We're recording on September 11th.
I'm sorry. Thank you for clarifying. Recording on September 11th. And usually I like to pause and signify this moment by airing one of the most poignant moments I can remember, Vince McMahon's speech on September 13th on live SmackDown, the first largest gathering assembly of people since the attacks.
That was before the Mets game, right?
Yeah. And I usually play it every year, but, back in February, I lost everything. And it's a 4 to 5 minute speech, and I cut it down to like a minute and a half. Mark, I didn't have time to do that this time. So I can't play this.
Wow,
I'm not gonna
slacking.
I'm a busy man. So this time, let's change it up a little bit. And I listened to it earlier today. Still gives me goosebumps. We're going to play Lillian Garcia singing the national anthem that very day. So take it away, Lillian.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and now of the brave.
It is certainly an emotional night for all of us. It has been an emotional week for all Americans and for all of humanity. But we'll be back.
It's time for In the News with Michael J. Putty and Mark Schwab.
All right, Mark. Again, still getting goosebumps. Great rendition of the national anthem by the lovely Lillian Garcia. It's time to get into some news, Mark. WWE reportedly released several dozen employees this past Thursday, most who were furloughed already back in April and who've been waiting on the word when they can come back to work. PW Insider reports that they believe there's more than 60 to 70 staffers let go this week. It's a lot of people, Mark. One of those was Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe, who was with the company for 36 years. They also released Sarah Stock from her backstage producing position. And my man Mike Rotunda, IRS himself. The latest round of cuts are said to be from all across the board, with the travel departments and live events hit the hardest. 12 to 15 people from the live events division were let go. A high-ranking vice president was also let go. Their names should be released very soon. Now, this is due to the reduced need for those departments because they're not traveling anymore because of this COVID-19 pandemic. Many sources say that this move is also a signal WWE will not be getting back to live events anytime soon, especially with the release of Mike Rotunda. Now, they blame this on budget cuts, Mark. We just reported a couple weeks ago they made a shitload of money during this pandemic. So can they really blame this on budget cuts when they have the money?
I mean, listen,
there's
it
a lot of
makes
people
sense.
losing a job. And
There's a lot of people losing a job, and it sucks. I mean, people are losing jobs all across the board in different type of companies and industries right now because of the pandemic. It makes sense. It's a cost-cutting move. There's not going to be live events for quite some time. It doesn't even sound like, even when things go back to normal, it doesn't even sound like they're going to really be traveling on the road that much during doing like dark shows. So,
and we've been reporting for what I guess now you can say months. WWE's been trying to hurry back to get live audiences. Now it seems like they have given up and are going to stick to this Thunderdome idea.
Yeah, it seems like, I reported last show, it seems like they're gung-ho in the Thunderdome. They have that until at least the end of October. But, with AEW, they have fans coming back. It sounds great. It's great to see the fans back there. Miss that organic reaction. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE does have some sort of live fans come back at some point, especially if things wind up being the same or better come November. But, time shall tell. We don't know because, at that point, flu season is going to kick in and we may shut it down again. Who knows?
Oh, God, I hope not. I can't deal with this again. Can we just get a vaccine already? This is ridiculous.
Oh, right.
When they come out with a vaccine, you going to get it?
Wait and see, Rich. We'll have to see.
There's no way I'm getting that right away. Please. All right, Mark, in other news, W considers their superstars, as we all know, independent contractors. They like that label because the company doesn't have to supply things that they normally have to do to employees, like health insurance and stuff like that. Well, this new third-party ban could ruffle some feathers and cause a change. During his latest podcast, Eric Bischoff brought up the new third-party ban, and he had a very interesting take on things. He said, and I quote, "It can backfire. Any wrestling company out there has a distinct advantage when producing television in that there are no unions. To be able to classify talent as independent contractors is a big advantage in the industry across the board, not just for WWE. I saw people on social media commenting saying, wrestlers need a union. Be careful what you wish for because that shit can come back to kill you. I would encourage the talent to really think about it long and hard whether or not they want to unionize." Now, I've been hearing about wrestlers forming unions, I think, almost my whole life. It never came to fruition. Do you think we will see wrestlers form a union? And you think they should?
So I have many thoughts on this. So I'm part of a union.
Yeah.
I'm part of SAG-AFTRA Guild, right? And there are a lot of perks to being involved in a union. Trust me, there are. But, there are definitely some side effects, too. And I could see the adverse effects how it could have in wrestling. But with that being said, I understand why they do it. I understand why a lot of promotions do it. It helps them out. And in a way, it may help some wrestlers out as well. But my issue is that pretty much every other promotion, they are indeed independent contractors because they're pretty much free to go to take whatever bookings they want.
Most promotions, yeah.
Not WWE.
Yeah.
WWE, it's very exclusive. You're pretty much an employee. You can't take other bookings. You have to get Daddy's permission, aka Vince.
Basically, yeah.
And at that point too, like you're not allowed now with like the newer rulings they had. You can't be on Twitch. You can't be on Cameo. I forgot what the other one was, but it's essentially saying that he owns the rights to your personal name. On top of that, like this doesn't sound like an independent contractor. It sounds like an employee. Yeah. So then, if that's the case, then you need to reclassify that.
Well, I read today that this whole ban they're going to now do on a case-by-case basis. So if they want to do Twitch or Cameo, they cannot use their stage name. They got to use their real personal name. And they're going to review it based on the person and the situation. So it's not a total ban, but it's going to be now a case-to-case basis.
Because you see, like someone like Paige, for example, who's not even on WWE TV anymore.
AJ Styles.
And she makes a
Twitch,
shitload of money off Twitch.
There's not that many those guys on Cameo. And if they are, they're like several $100. I'm like, no way, folks. I'm not spending $400 to get a 2-minute video from Alexa Bliss. Ridiculous.
Cut two weeks later.
$600 for Ric Flair. Get the hell out of here. If you want to go half, so let me know.
If you had the money, you would do it.
Ric Flair? I don't think so. Takes $100.
I mean, I personally would do it. I have a feeling you would.
No, not that much for that guy. No, no, thank you.
Not for that guy. It's Ric Flair. He's a legend.
$600.
How much would you pay for Shawn Michaels?
Like if money wasn't an object?
If money wasn't an object, right?
I could see him going for $500.
Okay, fair enough. No, but to answer your original question, it really does depend because so speaking from SAG. I'm very well protected. You get the health benefits. There's a lot of perks that are involved with it. Your wages are protected. But, as far as say for other type of work, I can't work non-union gigs. So say like there are a lot of commercials, especially right now. There's a lot of opportunities for non-union actors out there. Not so much for SAG projects because there's a lot more restrictions on there. And so I could see with wrestling how that would hurt if like there was a union, because say like the major promotions say they unionized, right?
Okay.
But how could like independent promotion or local promotion have a union or be able to support union projects then? So like then like, your people from like Impact or from TNA or MLW, if MLW like they supported union talent, they can't take other bookings outside, so it becomes tougher for them.
So you're kind of on the side with Eric Bischoff in this case then.
I
talking
think
about it's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. It really is. Like, it depends. Like, I feel like everyone has their own different needs.
So do you think this is why they haven't seen it yet? That's
why we haven't seen it yet, because there's just it'll be hard to do. Like, I think it sounds great on paper, but when they see the effects of it, like they're like, oh damn, like there would definitely be a lot of complaints. Like just because I'm a SAG actor. It doesn't necessarily mean the grass is completely green on the other side. Like I've seen a lot of like my non-union actor friends doing a lot of work during this pandemic. I can't. So like that would definitely play in wrestling, and they would see it in some capacity the way I'm seeing it as an actor. But going to WWE, like the whole definition of independent contractor and employee, I mean, they are really taking advantage of their employees, I would say.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
It's horrible what they're doing.
Another news, Mark, this is for you. Wednesday Night Dynamite episode drew 1.016 million viewers on TNT. This is the best viewership for 2020 and the third best viewership of all time. Their premiere on October 2nd drew 1.4 million. October 9th episode drew 1.18. And their third episode drew 1.14. So this is the first time they've hit over 1 million since their debut. What do you chalk this up to? There was no competition from NXT. This was a fallout show from the pay-per-view. Do you think this is a victim of circumstances, or you think the tide is turning and people are tuning into AEW Dynamite week in and week out?
I think it does have to do with the fact that a mixture of things here. Right. So NXT was on Tuesday night this past week. And then on top of that, you have the aftermath of their pay-per-view of All Out. So I think there's a combination there of what's going on. And then, of course, AEW Dynamite, they consistently do put on good shows. I haven't necessarily seen like a really awful show. Like, we've seen plenty of bad Raws or we've seen bad SmackDowns. I can't say that for sure. Like, there's an AEW that's like, oh my God, this is awful, will it end? There have been like shows that have been better than others, but consistently overall as a product, it's been spot on. It's been on brand. So it's growing. And I think the fact is, like, you had a mixture of these things here, of these variables. That's why going over to 1 million. Will we see it be consistently over 1 million? I don't know, man. I think maybe the competition does take it away. I mean, you see NXT, their ratings are up too when they're on another night. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily. I don't think they cracked 1 million yet, NXT.
I'm not sure I think they have, but not recently.
I don't necessarily know if they have. I'm not too sure. I think they've gotten close, but I don't think they actually cracked 1 million yet. I gotta say, I mean, AEW Dynamite has been like not even a full year yet.
No.
And they're almost, and they're growing. If they consistently hit 1 million from this point forward, I think they're that's above and beyond the projections.
I heard somewhere, I didn't read the whole article, but that WWE's going to look at their ratings for NXT on Tuesday nights and maybe move NXT.
I heard a rumor about that. Yeah.
I hope that's not true. I think it's too early to throw the towel in just yet.
I don't know. I mean, it's
I think
if it makes sense.
If they do move, it would be seen as throwing in the towel.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know about that. I don't necessarily view it so much as a war. I just view it as just like, we have a lot of good wrestling out there right now, and you just got to do what makes sense.
We'll find out. We'll follow that story closely. Finally, Mark, in other news, unfortunately, it's some sad news. For those who watched TNA back in the day, the Spike TV days, you undoubtedly heard the voice of the great Barry Scott. Scott's deep voice narrated the vignettes of every TNA pay-per-view and lots of other productions for their television shows and online videos. He unfortunately passed away at the age of 65 years old. Impact reports, "We are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Barry Scott. For years, Barry was the iconic voice of TNA wrestling, lending us gravitas and credibility. He will be dearly missed." The last time I heard Barry Scott's voice was a couple months ago when I talked about it on the show when Moose started to break into the Impact's theme and do his whole old school TNA Championship promo. If you heard his voice, you'll know who he is. So let me play a clip for you, him doing the cold opening to the latest for Slammiversary last year. He didn't do it this year. I think he was too sick. So enjoy the late, great Barry Scott.
Remember when a dream was born? When an icon arose? When a gold medalist captured the headlines? When an immortal one captivated the world? And when a knockout made her story history? Remember then, but marvel at the emergence happening now. Remember these faces? The bright new stars rising, the legends shining, the legacies being written, the young warriors on the edge of immortality. Remember this night, this moment, and this new era. The memories destined to be etched in the annals of time. Remember then, but revel in the now. For these are the days of their yearning, and this night, yet another time of our becoming. A night we'll all remember, long after the final bell tolls.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
All right, Mark. Pretty interesting week of TV this week. What do you have for me?
All right, so my TV takedown moment. I mean, there were some good quality matches this past week on TV. But the one match that stands out to me, and there are a couple of Impact that blew me away, but the one match that stood out to me the most this past week, I have to say, was an NXT Rhea Ripley versus Mercedes Martinez, that steel cage match.
Yep.
I thought was phenomenal. It was. I mean, talk about like two great talent right there. Like women that are built the same way, two powerhouses, and you have to lock them together in a cage. It helped tell that story all the way through. I enjoyed the ending. I enjoyed. I enjoyed all the spots in the match. But the thing about that is, it stood out to me during a pretty damn good card. Yeah. We had a championship match where we saw Finn Balor become the NXT champion. We defeated Adam Cole, which was a fucking fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think like, all right, well, how can a match beat that? But I gotta say, Rhea Ripley, Mercedes Martinez, they did everything good they could to stand out, and they told a good story.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. My takedown, I couldn't really pick one, so I'm just going to go with NXT this week. It was bookmarked by two great matches, two entertaining matches. The opening contest, amazing. The main event was awesome. It was just, what a night of TV. What a hell of a night they put on that night.
No, they definitely did. I mean, I was almost considering Cole and Finn Balor that match as my takedown, but I really didn't like how the whole championship unfolded. I thought it was such a cop out of trying to extend this match or this rivalry or whatever you want to call it. I really felt like we should have had a winner. Somewhere than was it last week, the night of the Fatal 4-Way?
Yeah,
the fact that the fact that they extended it to this week, I thought it was Bush League. It was just, come on, man, really? Is this what we're doing right now?
Well, the way it ended with him,
not to take anything away from the competitors. I think the competitors did an amazing job. But, I wasn't a fan of the creative direction of it. That's why I'm leaning towards Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez. And I gotta say, Mercedes Martinez, she's performed BCW before. We've seen her here in New York. She was an interviewee here in Shot of Wrestling, and just to see her get her shine, and with such great talent and getting showcased the way she is, it's really cool to see.
Honorable mention: Motor City Machine Guns versus the Rascals on Impact. Another amazing,
good match. Didn't like the finish,
but I thought it was a great match. Everyone used to talk about AEW's tag team division, which I don't think is all that great.
Really? I think NXT, not NXT, I'm sorry, AEW has the deepest tag team division out there.
That's what, like that. I'm just saying this as someone who's not really all that into AEW right now. But I watched that clip of them, the Revival doing the tag team celebration thingy, and who are these guys? Who are these jabronis around the ring? There wasn't any real tag team except for SCU.
They didn't have their whole tag team roster out there, but AEW has
the Young Bucks. Who else?
Young Bucks. I mean, who else was missing?
Now they're throwing in Chris Jericho and
LAX was missing out there.
LAX, that was one. Okay, I thought somebody was missing, but I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, just
there was at least two other teams I feel like they were missing out there.
Figure don't sleep on Impact's tag team division.
Best Friends were missing.
They seem to be building quite the nice roster themselves.
Dark Order was missing. I mean, they do have quite a bit of tag teams over there that have been impressive. The Butch and the Blade were missing, I think.
I haven't seen them in a while. Yeah.
Aren't
they with a new faction now? Aren't they with somebody else now?
Yeah, I mean, they're with the Lucha Bros, with Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston, that's who it was. Okay.
Yeah, who I think is just amazing on the mic.
Oh, he's untouchable. He's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
He was
Yonkers Pride right there.
Speaking of AEW, All Out, their big pay-per-view, happened this week. Mark, what do you got for me?
Listen, the match just stood out for me, and I know a lot of people have their opinions about this pay-per-view, that it didn't necessarily knock anyone's socks off, that it was probably the weaker AEW pay-per-view. But I want to look at the positives here. I really thought that tag team match, the championship match, the FTR versus Hangman and Omega, that's tag team wrestling right there. It had everything you want to see. It had quality tag team wrestling. It was technical. They had good spots in there, and then it also told a story. It told a story with Omega and Hangman. It makes me intrigued to see what happens next with them. Will they overcome, or are they going to feud? And it seems like they're going to be feuding, and then that'll be a great rivalry to see. And then you celebrate FTR, which I think might be the best tag team in wrestling today.
Of all promotions.
Team champions.
All promotions. FTR is your number one tag team right now.
They're up there, man. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns, I mean, they're a fantastic team as well. They're right up there. It's 1 and 2.
So you're just going to throw away Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Unbelievable.
Yeah, sorry to say, buddy.
My takedown of All Out was a match I was kind of curious to watch. The Hikaroshita, what's the fucking name? Hikaru?
What are you trying to say? Shida?
Hikaru, thank you. Ready? Hikaroshita versus Thunder Rosa. It was a match I was curious to see how they were going to play out. They got a decent amount of time, which is good. It was an interesting, fun match to watch, and it was really kind of one of the matches that stood out to me that actually had real wrestling, like legitimate, straight-up wrestling. It was a fun wrestling match to watch. And well done to both ladies. It was a great job. I mean, you knew she wasn't going to win. She was just there to lose. But she put one hell of a fight, and it was very entertaining to watch.
Thunder Rosa, I feel like would be such a great addition to the AEW roster. We've been talking for a while. The AEW women's roster is not necessarily complete. They definitely have some room to grow. I feel like the chemistry has grown. I feel like the women, they've been doing better than when they initially aired. But, they're still a signing or two away from being this is a division we can get behind. And I think Thunder Rosa, people know who she is. She's obviously very talented. She's the NWA Women's Champion for a reason. And you know, it was cool to see the cross promotion there. I'd like to see more of it. But man, like, you know, what an addition that would be. Because obviously, yeah, it was it was probably the best women's match that AEW has had.
Yeah, I agree. And I was really impressed a couple of weeks ago during my time off. It was Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deb. I thought that was a great match. And I think Thunder Rosa is just someone they should sign. I'm assuming it's only a matter of time.
I don't know what necessarily her contract situation is in NWA. I don't even know what NWA's future is right now.
Yeah, not many people do.
You know, I know they're saying they're not going anywhere. They said they're going to come back, but when? You know, we don't necessarily know that. And you know, you do have good talent over there in NWA.
I know she is on a per appearance contract right now, Thunder Rosa with AEW. But
and I think that's a great relationship. I think, you know, there should be more of that. I would like to see more of that in wrestling.
How about this coming week? Her defending the NWA Championship on AEW, something we don't see rarely these days anymore. Another promotion's championship defended on another promotion.
And, you know, this I have a feeling this is Cody Rhodes doing. And, you know, hats off to him. It reminds me back to the territories in a way.
Yeah.
You know, bringing that back. And again, I just said it, but, you know, how awesome would it be if you saw more promotions do this, if they have some sort of agreement to work that out? I know WWE will never do it. They'll never do it.
Well, they did a little bit with ECW back in the day, and they had some rumblings with Ring of Honor a while back, but it's something they should take advantage of, but they won't, like you said.
They should. I mean, I think the closest
don't exist in that universe.
The closest they've had it with recently, I mean, you could probably say is maybe Evolve.
Yeah, but can you say that Evolve is a smaller?
And they pretty much just bought it out, outright. So,
speaking of which, congratulations, Joe Gacy, our friend of the show, getting signed.
Yes, much congrats to him.
Going back to TV, how do you feel, man? Mauro Ranallo out. My man, Wade Barrett, commentating on NXT. Is it more enjoyable? Is it more enjoyable?
I don't like seeing people lose their jobs. So it seems like it was a mutual. Yeah,
it was mutual. Fired.
Right. Listen, I have to say I've been enjoying NXT a little bit better.
Wow.
Now that Mauro's gone.
Okay.
I think it is him. I think it was him that was holding me back from like really and truly enjoying NXT because. You know, I like to enjoy the whole experience. I like to watch the action in the ring. I like to, you know, get invested in the stories and the characters, but also commentary. Commentary does help. And I feel like Mauro just took it away, me enjoying it. I feel like it was just more about him than putting the talent over. Just my perception. I know I'm going to get crucified from fans because people love Mauro, but you know, that's just my personal opinion.
I don't know if I was talking to you about this or somebody else on show, off air. But, you know, good job for Vic Joseph getting another shot. I didn't really have a problem with commentating on Raw. I thought he was getting better week in and week out, and now he's getting the ball to try again. And now he's paired with Wade Barrett.
Vic Joseph, this is the best that he's been, I have to say.
Less pressure, probably.
Less pressure, maybe. I don't know, maybe because he maybe just gels better with Beth Phoenix and Wade Barrett. I don't necessarily know if he has so much Vince McMahon screaming in his ear.
No, Vince doesn't touch NXT. Vince is not
right. So I mean that probably does play into it as well.
Speaking of Wade Barrett, I hope he gets a full-time contract. I know this is still an audition period, feeling out trial, but I'm hoping he gets it. I really enjoy Wade Barrett.
He's got a great voice. He always has, and you know he's definitely enjoyable in commentary.
All right, Mark, time for a new segment for the show, starting season 5 with a new segment. Are you ready for this? Our shot of the week, Mark. Shot of the week. It's where we shoot basically on something that's bothering us, something that's agitating us, something we got to get off our chests. We just can't hold it in anymore, Mark. We got to let it out. And something's been bothering me for the past, 2 weeks now on my vacation. I was on the show. We'll talk about it. Now I'm going to talk about it. Are you ready for this?
Oh, boy, you're getting riled up. I can see it in your eyes. Okay. All right. Lay it on us, Putty.
Now, you know me, Mark. I'm always one to quickly defend the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
I call myself a loyalist, right? I got a problem with WWE right now. And it's really weird for me to say this, but I got a big problem. A couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago now, you introduced the Women's Tag Team Championships. Everybody wanted the Tag Team Champions for the Women's Division. Not me. Said it numerous times on this show. I wanted an Intercontinental Champion for the Women's Division. Nope. Didn't listen to me this time. They gave us a Tag Team Division. A Tag Team Championship. Because they were building tag teams, throwing random women together, and now they're all of a sudden they're tag teams. Except for one, Marcus. The Iconics. The only legitimate born and bred tag team in your brand new tag team division. The only legitimate tag team in your entire roster. And now you're breaking them up? Your women's tag team division, barely even getting off the ground. Okay, you did a great job this past summer. Props to Bayley, props to Sasha Banks for holding it down during this pandemic. The pandemic is now, you're trying to move past it now, and I guess advanced storylines. But you break up the Iconics? And I just mentioned it in the last segment. And now you have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? You're randomly thrown together. Weren't they fighting like 3 weeks ago? Now they're the tag team champions? You have one tag team. Build the division around this tag team. Once you establish legitimate tag teams, then you can break them up. I understand Peyton Royce is a star. You want to build her up. She's the next biggest thing, yada, yada, yada. That can wait a year. She ain't going nowhere. Okay? You just broke up the only tag team you have now. Okay? I can't wait for Tamina and Dana Brooks' tag team reign. And that's my shot.
Wow. Where do I go from here? Listen, I'm all for a good storyline. I'm waiting to see how this plays out. I understand your frustration with this, buddy, but it just goes to show Vince McMahon's lack of care for tag team divisions. And man or woman, it makes no difference. He just hates tag teams.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
Peyton Royce, he's got a great look to her. She's got a lot of charisma. She's gotten better in the ring.
Much better. I can see she's a star, but I think just...
I'm curious about her direction and what they're going to do with her from here. It wasn't necessarily like a rough breakup as we saw. Yes, they did wrestle each other, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, but how it ended off, they pretty much hugged at the end.
Yeah, and we'll never see Billie Kay again, friends. Right? Bye-bye, Billie Kay. See her at AEW.
No, Billie Kay's still going to be in WWE.
I doubt that. Not for much longer.
You think Billie Kay's completely done?
From what I heard, they have zero plans for her. Unless they move her to like SmackDown or NXT and repackage her and give her a whole new thing. From what I heard, she's done.
Oh, man, that'd be sad.
She'd be like Dana Brooke and just pop up here and there, maybe in a Battle Royal or Royal Rumble, but I don't see her doing anything.
Dana Brooke is someone I think they should build up, too.
I'm sorry. Did you say waste of talent? Yeah, I totally agree with you, too. What a waste.
Dana Brooke's a waste of talent?
She's a talent. They're wasting her. That's what I mean by waste. They're wasting
her.
Oh,
okay. I was going to say,
I think she's could be a face of the division, too.
Yeah, I feel like, Dana Brooke, maybe even Billie Kay, signing at AEW would help that roster more, and they could elevate their game and be the star that they are. You look at someone like Deonna Purrazzo, going to Impact, and just look how good she's doing over there. Not everything you see on TV or certain booking is necessarily a curse. A blessing. It could be a blessing in disguise. When they go on to somewhere else. Look at Miro. Now debuting in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, that promo he cut was damn good. You felt that from him, and obviously he's in a better place. It goes for most of the talent you see going somewhere else. So, listen, I'm with you. They're shitting on the tag teams. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax. It looks like they're going to be a woman version of Team Hell No. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that.
That's true.
Can they pull it off? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not too sure. Only time will tell. But yeah, they did break up like a very good tag team too soon. I think you're still building up this division. I can't even think of a legit tag team right now. The Riot Squad, I guess, is out there.
Yes, they just came back together. So I guess and they were still toying with some friction between them. So I don't know how substantial that team is, but whatever. Right.
And Alexa Bliss and I got a blank on her name.
Nikki Cross.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. It doesn't look like they're going to be teaming up anymore. Sasha Banks, Bayley, we always saw what happens.
They weren't really a team either. They were just two single stars thrown together.
They kind of worked a story in there as far as like why they teamed together.
There's no even women tag team in NXT.
No.
They're pairing Casey and the other chick together.
Well, you have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I don't really look at them as a tag team. It's more like she's her bodyguard.
That would be cool if they held the tag team championship.
Anything Raquel Gonzalez does is cool.
You just like the fact that she punked me out on social media.
Well, that's one of the reasons. She's a beautiful woman. I'm a little smitten. Okay, So she have a little soft spot for my faction member, Raquel Gonzalez. How's Simone doing? How's Simone doing?
I feel like you're never going to let me forget that.
And we just fit together, like Big Mommy Cool and Big Papa Putty. I mean, we could be a great tag team.
No one calls you that.
Everyone calls me that.
Everyone
calls me that.
But I'm thinking too. They broke up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville before they even had a shot.
Fire and Desire, a legit tag team too.
I'm like thinking more and more about this. I'm actually, I think I'm starting to get riled up too about this.
Yeah, I'm not playing, Mark. I started the week. I'm not just like throwing shit out there. This is something I've been thinking about.
You have a good point.
I usually do, Mark. You give me some credit. Now you're going to go to bed tonight. You're going to think of another tag team. It's just ridiculous. You're going to build a women's tag team division by putting two women who are doing absolutely nothing and throwing them into an imaginary tag team. That's what I just said in my little rant there. Dana Brooke, Tamina. They're going to be next tag team champions randomly.
Damn. Mm-hmm. They got them messed up.
Yep. So great tag team division. Talking about,
but even in the men's division, the tag team roster is pretty weak.
In the takedown segment we just had, you were talking about AEW's tag team division. I was talking about Impact tag team division. I don't ever remember us talking about WWE's tag team division.
I can't remember the last time WWE had like solid tag team action. The furthest back I could go was probably the Attitude Era.
They had moments. They had legit moments, and then they always dropped the ball.
I mean, the greatest feud they had in recent memory was Usos in the New Day.
That was my feud of the year.
Right.
A couple years ago, a year in the Wars.
But that's it.
Yeah, that was it. That was a great rivalry, great storytelling, great actual tag teams. And now it's Sanity. Sanity destroyed the NXT tag team division, brought up to SmackDown, never seen again. The current leader of Sanity is now the Impact World Champion.
Oh my God, they blew an awesome opportunity there with Sanity.
Huge, one of the biggest balls they've ever dropped.
Yeah,
I didn't know too much about them in NXT. I just heard great things about that, and I was looking forward to them on SmackDown, and thoroughly disappointed.
But yeah, hey, listen, that's another good point of a blessing right there in disguise. Yeah. Eric Young, EY left, WWE got cut, and now he's Impact World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I think I talked about Triple H didn't want him to leave. Triple H was going to call him, bring him back to NXT, but then they released him. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. But not for him. Now he's a world champion. Congratulations to him.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, he's crushing it over there.
So, Mark, I feel much better getting off my chest. Thank you very much.
Good. You seem like you were carrying that for quite some time.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Anyway, I feel much better. I moved on. Let's see what happens on our next shot of the week. But, Mark, it is time for some go-home thoughts. The floor is yours.
So my go-home thought is, dude, I found an awesome TV show that I've been hooked on. Dude, I am obsessed with Cobra Kai.
Okay. Did you just get into that show? Or I remember you talking about it a while ago.
No, I did. I just did. Okay. So I just started watching. I just watched recently for the first time the Karate Kid movies. Right?
Oh, okay, great. Because I haven't seen any of them, and I feel like if I said that, you'd be like insulting. But,
no, just watched it like a week or two ago.
I told somebody, watched them all. I told somebody recently, and she just gave me a dirty look. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I have to say, like the first one was pretty solid. The other, was it 2, 3, and 4 were pretty bad. Oh, 2 and 3 were bad. 4 was okay.
What? There's 4 of them?
There's one with Hilary Swank. That's the 4th one.
What?
Yeah.
Did you watch one with Jaden Smith?
No, that doesn't exist.
It does exist.
It doesn't exist
10 years ago.
I'm not a Jaden Smith fan, so it doesn't exist. Although I have to, he's producing this. Him and Will Smith are producing Cobra Kai, so hats off to them because Cobra Kai is phenomenal. It's probably the best show I've been watching during this pandemic.
A friend of mine was into it when it was back on YouTube. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I watched the first episode, and it seemed like it would be awesome. But now it's on Netflix. I thought about watching it, but I started watching something else. So now
I'm actually enjoying it better than the movies.
Okay. Interesting. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, Cobra Kai is the shit. So if you're a Karate Kid fan or if you've been curious, you've been on the fence to watch this show, definitely check it out on Netflix. Definitely binge watching worthy right here.
We are almost halfway through September already, but September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. So if you have the time, I know everyone's going through a rough spot right now. If you have anything to give, go to ConnorTheCrusher.com, donate. I've done it a couple times. It's a worthy cause. Please help. These kids need it. So definitely, if you can, ConnorTheCrusher.com. You'll feel good about yourself. Or go to WWEshop.com and buy a bracelet or a shirt all proceeds go to the same organization. Two different go-home thoughts from two different people. Anyway, Mark, where can people find you on social media if they don't know by now?
You can go to my website, yourfavoriteactor.com. All my social media links are in there.
Mark, this is a good start to season 5, my friend. Good start.
Yeah, I'm glad you got your rant off. Like you seem like a happier person now.
I'm much happier. It was a huge burden on my chest, and now I feel less stressed. It kept eating away at me, and so now I feel better. Now I'm ready to go out and party.
Good, man. And I accept your apology for how we started off earlier today.
I never apologized to you. I didn't apologize for.
You apologized with your eyes, so I appreciate that, man.
I did not do that.
And
You're
I
drunk.
forgive you.
You're drunk, so
we're good.
Okay, whatever you say, buddy.
See, you call me buddy. We're
good. For Mark Schwann, I have been your host at Michael J. Putty. Until next week, Putty out.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh, my. And maybe you seem a bit confused. Yeah, baby, but I got you pinned. Ha, 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.